Hello students. So today let us start with heart of shark. So as we know, the shark is a vertebrate. It's a fish. It's a vertebrate. So after this topic we will be doing amphibian. In that we will be doing about frog, then about a reptile, crocodile, then about bird, and then about mammal. So the entire series of vertebrate hearts. So in this something general about heart in vertebrates. So in the case of vertebrates, here in the case of vertebrate heart, if we study it, we will be really be able to understand evolutionary processes. Certain things are simple. So one is that we will see that increase in number of heart chambers. That means in fish there are two. In fish like shark there are two chambers. In frog or in amphibian there will be three chambers. Reptile also three chambers. Birds four chambers. So the number of chambers they go on increasing. Two, in the case of all vertebrates, the heart is always positioned ventrally. If you recollect, cockroach heart was positioned dorsally. So also in all the invertebrates or all the non-chordates, the heart is always positioned ventrally. Dorsally. But in the case of all the vertebrates, the heart is always positioned ventrally, on ventral side. Also the heart in all the vertebrates is myogenic. That means that certain groups of muscle cells they themselves are capable of initiating and maintaining rhythmic contraction. Means they are not in control of the brain. So myogenic heart means the muscle cells of the heart, the cardiomyocytes, they themselves can initiate and maintain rhythmic contraction. So this is one change that takes place. We know this as the pacemaker. Okay. And fourth one is that the heart is always enveloped by pericardium. And there are two layers of the pericardium. So pericardium is like a bag or like a sac. It's a protective layer. So pericardium has got two layers. One is outer layer or parietal layer, and one is an inner layer called visceral layer. and in between this there will be pericardial fluid. And this visceral layer is made up of connective tissue, and since it is very close to the heart itself, we often call this as epicardium. So the pericardial fluid lies between these two parietal layers and visceral layers, and it helps to absorb the shock when the animal is continuously beating the heart, or the heart is beating. So there is a pericardial fluid. It is essentially protective in nature. So there is an epicardium. That epicardium is nothing but the connective tissue along with the visceral layer, which becomes closely connected with the heart itself. So that is what we call as epicardium. Then it is followed by myocardium. Myocardium is made up of cardiac muscle, which we call as cardiomyocytes. So myocardium is made up of cardiac muscle cells, which we call as cardiomyocytes. And the innermost layer, which we call as endocardium. It is actually a kind of an inner epithelium, which we call as endothelium. So if you draw this, this is parietal pericardium. This is visceral pericardium, or it is also called as epicardium. There is a fluid here, and this fluid we call as pericardial fluid. Then it is followed by a thick layer of myocardium. And this layer is called as endocardium. Now this myocardium, it can be of two types. It can be either spongy or it can be compact. So I will divide this into two parts over here. If it is spongy, there are a lot of spaces over here. There are cells everywhere else, but there are spaces. So if it is spongy, so I will write here it is spongy. These are spaces in between. Whereas if it is compact, there is no space at all. And in myocardium, which is spongy, it is something like that over here, so that some part of the blood can enter into the heart so that it gets its oxygen through these spaces. Whereas in compact myocardium, there is no space, therefore a blood vessel has to enter into the heart, into the pericardium, and supply oxygen to it. So we get compact myocardium in birds and mammals, and we get spongy myocardium in fish and amphibian. And reptiles, as we actually progress from fish to amphibian to reptiles to birds and mammals, there is progressively less and less of spongy epicardium and more of compact epicardium. So this will be a kind of a transitional series. So this is what we need to know before we start the topic on heart of shark. Now, as we said over here, the heart of shark is placed ventrally. So in a shark heart, there will be, like in any fish also, there will be sinus venosus, which is a kind of a chamber which receives the blood. And this sinus venosus goes on decreasing and is finally incorporated as the pacemaker. So this is sinus venosus. Second part will be auricle, or we call this as atrium. Three, there will be a muscular ventricle, and fourth, conus arteriosus. So these are the parts of the shark heart. There will be a sinus venosus, one auricle and one ventricle. So therefore the heart of the shark is two-chambered. The heart of the shark is two-chambered with one auricle and with one ventricle. These are the associate chambers, sinus venosus and conus. They are associated chambers. The chambers are basically auricle and ventricle. So since there is only one auricle and one ventricle, we call this as a two-chambered heart. Now, so if this is a shark which I have drawn in dotted lines. Let us just look at how the heart will be looking like. The heart is located somewhere over here in this part. Okay, in this region is the heart located. So you can see that this is the dorsal side and this is the ventral side. And the heart is located over here. So this part, how will it look like? This is the sinus venosus. Then is the atrium. Then is the ventricle, and then is the conus arteriosus. So we'll make this part a little thick because This is the ventricle. This is actually a bag-like structure, but I have just shown it to show. So this is heart. If you are looking at the heart in this direction, it will be S-shaped, where this part is sinus venosus. This part, which is twisted little bit, is the auricle. This part over here is ventricle, and this part is here conus. And this will go ahead further as the ventral aorta. This is called as a ventral aorta. So this is how the sinus venosus is a receiving chamber. Then there will be a bag-like structure which we call as auricle. Then the auricle passes the blood to the ventricle, and the ventricle will then pass the blood to the conus. So in all these cases, there will be valves that prevent the movement of back flow of blood. All the time there will be valves are present to prevent the back flow of blood. So between the sinus venosus and the auricle, there will be membranous valve. This is called as sinusauricular aperture. Then we have auriculoventricular aperture. This will be a kind of a bilabiate valve. This is between the auricle and the ventricle. Then between the ventricle and the conus, there will be semilunar valves. So between the sinus venosus and the auricle, simple valve is there, which we call as sinusauricular aperture, sinusauricular valve, and that aperture is the sinusauricular aperture. Valve is membranous. Between the auricle and the ventricle, AV, so auriculoventricular aperture with bilabiate valve. Then between the ventricle and the conus will be simple semilunar valves. Now this same structure which we have drawn over here is to be actually seen from ventral view. So I want to just write over here that whenever we do any kind of dissection, to see the heart in the case of vertebrates, we are talking about vertebrates. So in the case of vertebrates is always from ventral side. Naturally, you see, this side, the dorsal side contains the vertebral column. So you will not be able to see the heart from, if you try to dissect the animal from dorsal side, you will always dissect the animal from ventral side. In the case of any cockroach or invertebrate, you you will dissect it from the dorsal side. So this same structure, it is from the side view structure of heart, it will look something like this. So from ventral view, of heart of shark will look like this, where this is the sinus venosus. This side pouch which you are seeing over here, this is auricle. This is ventricle. This is conus arteriosus, and this becomes the ventral aorta. So this is also auricle. So I want you to try to understand the relationship between these two diagrams so that you can understand its position. This is the side view. This is the side view or the lateral view of how it might appear, where we have the sinus venosus on the dorsal side, auricle in between, and ventricle coming on the ventral side, and the heart is located over here in the shark because it is ventral in position. And the same thing, if you try to look at it from ventral side, this is when you do a dissection of the shark, this is how it will look like, where we will see a triangular part at the bottom which we call as sinus venosus. This is sinus venosus. Then on the top we will find a bag-like structure which is the ventricle, and on the two sides two pouches which we call as auricle, and this is the ventricle, and the ventricle is leading into the conus arteriosus. So this is the sinus venosus. We will write this as SV. This is auricle. This is spongy myocardium of ventricle. This is the whole chamber is ventricle. This is the space inside. This will be the conus. So in the heart of the shark, this is the sinus venosus, which we have said is a receiving chamber. This is the internal section. Where you will see the sinus venosus is a receiving chamber. So sinus venosus, blood flows to auricle. Triangular receiving chamber. Auricle is a bag, thin bag. Between the sinus venosus and the auricle, there is sino auricular aperture guarded by membranous valves. Then auricle to ventricle. This is thick. Thick-walled muscular. What do we call this muscular layer? Myocardium. What type of myocardium? Spongy myocardium. So that when the blood enters it, the blood gets oxygenated because of these small spaces over here. Okay, the blood gets oxygenated here. Remember that there is no coronary artery here. The coronary artery will appear if the myocardium becomes compact in nature. So from the auricle, the blood has come to the ventricle, and from the ventricle it will go into the conus. From the ventricle it goes into the conus. And here there are, so between this, in this there is 2 rows of semilunar valves. So one row is shown over here and another row is shown over here. This is also semilunar valves. And to connect between these semilunar valves and to give it support, there is connective tissue. These are called as chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae, which is connective tissue that anchors the semilunar valves to the heart of, to the ventricle part. So that layer in blue is a kind of endocardium. So here a question is, what type of blood enters the heart of shark? Always Deoxygenated blood enters heart of shark. Therefore, the shark heart is also called as venous heart. We already saw what type of circulation we will get over here. Whether we will get single or double, we will always get in heart of shark single circulation. Whether it will be open or closed, naturally in all the vertebrates the circulatory mechanism is closed. So here we were seeing the different main features of vertebrate hearts. Increase in number of heart chambers, heart is ventrally positioned, heart is myogenic in nature, about the pericardium, pericardial fluid, myocardium, endocardium, etc. We can add that in all the vertebrates there will always be closed circulation. In some animals it will be single, in some animals it will be double. With that we come to the end of this particular topic. So this is Professor Ravindranath signing off. Thank you.